Holy cow, you guys. It's me. I'm back. And I look frazzled as hell. Oh. Welcome back. After about a year hiatus to Mini Paint and Chill. I have gotten my life somewhat back in order. Not really. But I have had some time to think about it and give myself a break to really get a routine back into space. So I asked you guys if you wanted me to start doing this again, and you said yes. So we're going to start doing this again. Before we get started, just a few quick things to get out of the way. And then we're going to go into just the layout of what's going to be happening moving forward. So that way we all have a better idea of what's going to happen here. Hello, all of you who are in the chat. I don't have my phone up right here. I'm looking at my computer right now. So if you aren't already following the channel, please do. If you have the financial ability to, please subscribe. It really helps me out. If you haven't checked out my YouTube channel, feel free to go do that. We've rebranded. It's no longer to stream many things. I still have the rights for that, so if anyone wanted to buy it, they could. But it's now my company, which is Wheeler's Minis, which you can look at the website that I have to see all of the cool stuff that I've been painting. I've got a lot of the stuff. I'm going to the gym tonight, so don't be too upset about this. But you can go to my website to see what's up. I'm pretty much selling a bunch of my stuff now. So if you ever have the need of a character mini to be commissioned or anything like that, I've got slots available on my website. Go check that out. The YouTube channel is doing really well. I've been uploading videos outside of this, still doing brick by brick, going over all the the miniatures that WizKids got coming out, all that kind of stuff. But I wanted to really get this back up and running. One, to help me stay consistent in painting so I can have continued stock going up, and to have more content available because I have the time to do it. So yeah, like I said, if you could follow me pretty much everywhere, I'd really appreciate it. Most of you who are here probably already are, and I appreciate that a whole bunch. Thank you for being patient with me as I took some time to reevaluate what's going on in my life. I got married. So yeah. Before we get started in painting today, a few quick things. So this is going to be happening every Tuesday and Thursday. Tuesday's going to be at 3 p.m. my time, so 5 p.m. Eastern time. It'll go for 2 hours pretty consistently. And then on Thursday, we'll be doing the normal time that we used to do, which is 5 my time, 7 Eastern time to 9. That way, for all the people who watch Critical Role, you can go and do that. I am abstaining from that for now because we are going to be driving to Emerald City. So if anyone watches this VOD prior to that, which is like 2 weeks from now, I'll be at Emerald City. I'm also going to be at WonderCon this year. I'm also going to be at C2E2 this year. I might be at San Diego this year. I'm not 100% certain. We're still trying to figure that out. And I'm trying to go to Big Bad Con at the end of the year. So the only stipulation to the time frame that we'll be doing stuff is the last Thursday and the first Tuesday of each month I'll be taking off, and that is to kind of coincide with all the con going I'll be doing. I will also allow myself to just not have the streams, so just be on the lookout on my Twitter, Discord, stuff like that to see when I will be doing this and not be doing this. I just want to make sure that if I'm having a bad day or if I need a break, I can take that without feeling like I am letting everyone down. So that is a consistent schedule with the stipulation that I can change it whenever I want. Because it's my business and I get to do what I want. But yeah, we're rebranding to Wheeler's Minis. That's kind of what I've been doing across everything. Like I said, I still have the Stream Many Things up, but I'm kind of keeping the stuff kind of more close to home, just to make sure that I can consolidate everything under one name and not have to kind of run 6 different accounts for 6 different things. So this just helps me keep things under wraps and makes it so that it's easier for me to keep track of. So it's the revival. I'm kind of just going to be painting stuff that I've had printed that I need to put into the store. I've been, obviously, with the changeover to selling the prints, I have to buy merchant licenses, and those are expensive. So, yeah, I am trying to make sure that I keep things at least stocked up. I don't really sell too much on the website at the moment, but I do sell quite a bit at cons, so hopefully that changes moving forward. And if there is a con in your area that is looking for people and it's not too much of a stress on me, let me know. I might travel. I like traveling, it turns out. So, yeah. So I've already got some stuff kind of ready to be painted. Already has some speed paint on it, which is kind of my base, as you know, if you've watched any of my mini painting vids before. Yeah, it's a lot. Having friends who go to cons who are like really well-known artists and having the amazing people that they are let me use a fraction of their booth is amazing. The first time I sold a mini, I was like, holy shit. But when I sold at San Diego, that's when my brain went absolutely kaput. So today as well, I just literally today got in this wet palette. It's the Army Painter XL Wargamers edition. It's really pretty. I'm excited to try it out. I've been trying out a lot of new mini painting things. I've got videos up for that. If it looks a little bit different, that's why. Because I've been like really buying a lot of stuff and not painting, and I feel bad about that, and that's why I want to get back into painting. Baby, you literally can see that whenever. You're going to the gym with me. There you go. There's another one. But this one's really cool because it's got a speed paint palette, which I like. You guys know I love speed paints. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to grab it, because it's got such a huge speed paint palette compared to this small thing over here that I've been using. That is also technically a speed paint palette. But yeah, I did a video on accessories that I use, specifically like my organizational accessories. And yeah, you should go check it out. It's on YouTube. But let's see, to start, I'm going to organize some of the space. I got a lot of new paints too. I'm actually going to be overhauling my paints soon to the new Army Painter War Paint Fanatic line that came out. I just have to wait for it to actually come out. But as soon as it does, I will have those in my hands and be able to use those as well. So. Okay, all right. So we've got these treants, which happen to be, for some reason, are very, very good. Like, people like buying these. So I printed out a couple of them because they go pretty quickly. And then I've got this Leshy too that I'll probably be working on. You know, I've been thinking about it, like, especially with the models that you sent me. I've been considering it. It's just, how much time am I willing to spend doing that? That's really the biggest thing. So I've got these. They're pretty easy to kind of just like get painted up. So I'm probably going to start with those. We need a little black to darken them up. But yeah. Just trying to get back into this, be more consistent, make sure that I have stock in my store for people to buy, because that is important in running a business. But yeah, trying to get back into it. It's been hella important to me recently, especially like just the idea of painting overall has been super important. I got some new brushes too that I get to try out. That's always fun. Specifically some dry brushes because I don't have a lot of good ones. Let me actually mix this up real quick with one of my gross ones. So I don't want too much. I just want enough to really darken the brown a little bit. That's a good color. Because I'm going to use the lighter color as a maybe a little too watery. As a highlight color. Yeah, it's a little too watery actually. I've been really focusing on getting like the texture of color down, of like when something is being shaded by something, it needs to, you know, have that darker tone to it. So I've really been kind of doing that like color triad system where, you know, you do a darker color as a base or an undertone, and then you have a mid tone, and then you have a lighter tone too. But I still tend to pretty much base everything with the the speed paints. Yeah, I've been painting like I'll do I kind of stopped painting at the perfect time because I started playing D&D more, and I liked painting the models that I was using in my D&D games on the stream, which my players caught on pretty quick that, oh, he is an asshole. He's painting it right in front of us and we're not paying attention, which is fun, you know? So I probably won't paint too much from my D&D games on here, but who knows? Every once in a while, if they know something's coming and I need to get it done, I'll probably paint it on stream. Trying to stay consistent with the color is also a really big thing, of making sure that like the color matches throughout as I'm dry brushing, because right now it's got a very like dark, almost blackish look to it, and what I'm going for is more of a brown, but as soon as I get some more dry brush on it, it actually should be fine. It's just about getting it done. Like I said, I've been working on that kind of depth of color too. I've been watching a lot of videos. I've surrounded myself with more people who are painting to just kind of hopefully get myself back to the reality of I need to paint more. Yeah, you know, like I've heard about one page rules. I'll have to look at it. I love painting minis to freak out my characters and players. It's my most fun thing to do. Try to keep it as secret as possible, but it's not always the easiest, especially when my wife is one of my players. There's also a Warhammer shop here in Boulder. That I've been to because I like picking up. I tend to move and move towards Army Painter because it's cheap and they have the speed paints, and I just like the consistency of the paints that they have, and I'm really excited for the Fanatics line to come out. But for some paints like washes and things like that, I do tend to move towards Citadel paints, which I know is actually a very common thing. So I've been to my Warhammer shop a few times just to pick up some paints. I think it's also important to have like a diversity of paints too, because you never know when a color might match exactly what you're looking for. So I've been kind of broadening my painting armoire. Completely miss this guy's arm. With like new paints and stuff. Scale 75 metal colors I was reading was like a really big one. So I've been kind of just trying out new things. I got the Vallejo WizKids sets to try those out. I love the way the paint works and is formulated for those. I know that a lot of people don't like the new game color line, so I'm interested to see how, if I ever pick up some of those. I have a shop in Denver that I go to pick up some Vallejo paints because they have a pretty decent stock of them. But Two Thin Coats is also one that I've been looking at. I know, was that Duncan Rhodes? That's his, like, he's a former Citadel guy who like made his own paint line. I know a lot of people really like that. They like the consistency of it. They're like, it's basically Vallejo, but it's like if Vallejo listened to us and made the paints that we wanted. So I'm interested in that as well. It's just really what's going to be readily available to me on a consistent basis. I just had them earlier, that's why I was asking. Sorry, sometimes I don't clean off these the way that I should prior to priming them, so I have to get the little bits and stuff out, well, or just completely break it. But yeah, just probably still hit that up with some speed paint later. I'll just like that, why not? Yeah, when it comes to washes, I've really like always been high on Citadel washes, but I'm trying to branch out from that because they're expensive comparatively. So I'm trying to make sure that I stay within budget because I don't want to break it to, you know, you have to find what you're willing to sacrifice on when it comes to materials, and paint is one of those that I'm willing to spend a lot on. But I would like to try new ones because it's one of those things where it wasn't necessarily that I didn't like other ones, it's that I just didn't try other paints when it comes to like other lines washes. Like I think I've used Army Painters before, but not to the extent that I've used Citadels. So I don't have any fun cosplays for this year, I don't think. You'd have to ask my wife. My wife is more of the cosplay aficionado. Which, if you haven't been following them, they've been doing a lot of really cool ones recently. Alright. I've gotten that done. Yeah, so now it's just... that's the base tone. So now what I'll do is I'll go through and make sure that my brush is empty. And then just pull the regular brown and then just kind of start hitting up areas that may not be fully lit but definitely have like a little bit of light hitting them. And I mean, for interest of keeping it consistent, also hitting the areas that would have a lot of light, because that's, again, it's just going to give you depth on the model as you're painting it. And this is why I love these models, because like these treants are so easy to paint. It's just the material cost that tends to be a little high on these, but because I have it down to where I've painted or printed them properly consistently, I can get a good amount of these off the printer and kind of in my hands to paint, so I can try different styles of things. 'Cause yeah, I like doing that. I like testing stuff out and trying new things because it's fun. And that's the other thing about these too, is like they can be a little, because they're trees, they can be just like a little dirty. They don't have to be perfectly painted. I try to do at least a decent job on all of the models that I sell, because like I want you to be happy with what you're getting when I'm selling it to you. But so far I have had not really any complaints regarding these guys. And I've got different wood colors too that I could do as well, so just fun stuff. And then for like the true highlight, what I'm going to do is probably just add a little bit of white in that brown to really give it just kind of a nice little highlight. So it is an Ent. It's a treant by a company that I have a merchant license for, called Lord of the Print. They do some really, really cool stuff. They're not this month, but the month prior, January, they had a really cool release. Obviously, I've had a lot of conversation about this. I love hags, and their release was like a hag-ish themed release, where they had like mushroom people and stuff, which I'm super excited about. So there's the Leshy's actually from that release. So hopefully I get to work on that tonight. I should be able to. Like I said, these don't take too long, and I'm not going to base these tonight. I'll probably base these later. The basing isn't super difficult, but it can be a little messy, so I'd rather just not do it on stream. But yeah, these are Ents. It's funny, it's supposed to be a different one. It's part of their welcome pack. But it's supposed to be a different looking one. Like the model's supposed to be different, but I guess it's just the wrong model. Which I don't mind. Like I said, I saw out of everything that I've painted, mind you, I don't really paint a lot of duplicates of things, but the things I have painted duplicates of, like this is the best selling duplicate. So I like making sure that I have a decent stock of these. Like this has been a day one print for the store. That's why I keep my merchant license to Lord of the Print, because they're awesome. Yeah. No hex bloods, I don't think. Yeah, they have really, really cool stuff, and that's why I have a That's why I have a... Hold on. Let me do something real quick. Sorry. Woo! All right. I don't think there's any Hexbloods in this set. To answer your question, I have to look through it again. But I have because when I started painting, I realized I had to get these. I have most of the companies all the companies that I have available to print and paint stuff are on the website, but I have most of them dating back to December of 2022. So it was just a really cool set for me because, like I said, I love hags. Don't know why I put that away. I'm gonna need it again shortly, but I wanted to get this with a little bit of here, and a little bit of here. Make sure I'm getting some color on the base pieces. Hags are fun. They actually had I have actually two different ones now, but I have two different available prints that I could print off of, like Baba Yaga's hut, which is really, really cool. But yeah, it's fun stuff for sure. I also just love them. I think they're really cool. A lot of companies, February seems to be the month that they release a lot of their hag stuff, which is interesting to me. I don't know why, but yeah, I've got two of those chicken leg huts, and then another company that I can't sell their minis, but I can paint them. I can't. Let me rephrase. I can't commercially sell them. There are loopholes. I tend to stay away from them, but like for a personal friend, if they're looking for a specific model and they're like, I really like this, I will do it. And what I'll do is I'll just charge them for the paint. I won't charge them for the model because I can't. But Loot Studios as well does their fucking February release or whatever was a rehash on something that they had done prior, which specifically was a like hag themed related thing. So yeah. Alright, so now we're going to take a little bit of these, a tiny bit of that, a little bit of this. Also, Rob, to answer your question from earlier, my wood theming tends to be dark wood speed paint as the base, scale 75's walnut, and then just adding black or white into that, and then maneuvering it up as I get into more highlighted things. So I'll take a picture probably after I'm done with this and send it to the Discord to give you a better look at it. But yeah, just giving it kind of a sun bleached look on top and just really harping on that mid-tone that's kind of the undertone of everything, which is that walnut color. Now there are, like I said, there's other woods in the set that I got specifically from Scale 75. Like I think they have like a birch wood as well. I haven't played with it as much yet, but like I just like getting a nice I like getting the texture of the wood and like showing that this is something that's like been out in the sun and definitely is old. And that's kind of where I go with these ideas is, you know, one, I want you to be able to look at the model when it's on the table and like have that sense of, oh yeah, this thing has lighting to it. Like when I look at it dead on, I can see where the light's hitting it and it's showing up really well. But if I turn it upside down, it's super dark, you know? Yeah, it might be winter. I know that she has a stat block. I also recently bought like one thing, and we haven't talked about this because obviously I haven't been streaming. One thing I'm super excited about is all of the third-party content coming to D&D Beyond. I use D&D Beyond pretty much for everything. I know you can hate me for it. I am a corporate shill, apparently. I jest, but one of the things that I've really liked recently has been all of the third-party content that's been coming on. I think it's super important. One, and two, it gives us access to things on a website that makes it so much easier for us, so I don't have to print out extra bits and bobs of things to throw a monster at my table. It's just on D&D Beyond, and I can just use it, which is really fun for me, especially when I'm running a game for 7 people, because I am a monster and hate myself, apparently. Also adjust because I don't hate myself, and I actually love that game. The people there are incredible. It's fun to play a game for people who understand D&D enough to get the mechanics and know how it works, but not well enough to where they know exactly what monster you're throwing at them all the time. Because that has happened before, and it can get very sad when I want to throw something and they're just like, oh, this is what you do to beat it. So I've gotten really good at homebrewing things. So also, if you ever want to fucking commission my time to homebrew something for you, let me know. Because I'm halfway decent at that. Yeah, we've been lucky enough to where we found a new group of friends in Colorado, and I was like, hey, D&D, and they were just like, yeah, that actually sounds awesome. So we play every 2 weeks, and sometimes when they're lucky and I have the brain power, I DM for almost 11 hours straight. And that is because I'm insane. Yeah, see? They already look pretty fucking good. And that's literally all I really do for them is just paint like this. The important thing to remember is like when you're dry brushing, especially something like this that's not going to be necessarily too difficult to dry brush, where you want the highlights is where the sun or the light is hitting most directly. So when you're dry brushing, you want to have the dry brush pointed in the direction where the light's coming from. So like when I'm doing the base undertones of the shadows, I'll go from underneath because that's where they're going to be. But when I go with the highlights, I go from the top. So yeah, it's a lot, but goddamn is it fun. Because I do it every 2 weeks, it's not as harsh on me, and it gives me time to get things done. So like painting minis or things of that nature, like I'm able to do more of that because I have an extra week in between games. Not to say that my once a week game isn't fun, because it is. It's just I have more time to get stuff done when I am doing the other game. So also, if anyone you know wants a terrain map, let me know. I've been making them out of EVA foam recently. It's a pain in the ass, but it definitely works really well. Alright, so that's it for that. We can start working on the base of making those stones stone colored. This is the one issue with dry brushing, is just getting all of the color out of the brush. These are Teclon brushes, so they're not super hard to do that with, but alright, I need ash gray. Have I really not put mixing bowls in this? But yeah. Oh. I was about myself a little. If you hear that vibration, it's like a centrifugal mixer. That's supposed. It's not necessarily supposed to be used for paints, but it can be, and I like it because it makes it so that I don't have to throw my arm out. Alright, the only thing I don't like about these brushes, they always feel like the tip's gonna fall off. So for this, just want to make sure I don't have too much paint on, and then just kind of light. These aren't as important keeping things under wraps, because I will be putting like basing materials on them, but having them be at least the right color is important. I like to base them in Gravelord Gray, and then kind of just one dry brush coat over them in like a ash gray or something like that. The pillar, it really depends on your preference. You can either go with the gray color, or you can go with more of like a sandstone color. I prefer gray just to keep the scheme consistent. Although for this one, I might do a castle gray. So I might just put another color on the palette real quick. I gotta get back to getting better at not using as much paint. Not that that is a worry, but it's good practice to get in, especially if I'm gonna because I have started painting at cons that I've been going to. So I've also got a dragon mini that I will, depending on how much time we have left, I might start working on. But we'll see. Oh, I'm only at cons out west because I now live out west. So I should probably be making my way to cons out east at some point. Awesome Con, Dragon Con, Mega Con, things like that. New York City's still on. I've been hesitant to put it on my bucket list, but it's starting to slowly grow on me to be one of those cons. Yeah, I want to do Gen Con too. Like, I know these are like the big cons. I'd love to go to PAX and stuff like that. For those, I don't know if I'd be necessarily a artist at them, or if I would just be a goer. I think I'd just be a goer for those. But ooh, You are dry and crusty. I don't know if there's any left of you, which sucks. Oh, no, there we go. I'm actually going to C2E2 this year, which is exciting. We have a bunch of cons that we're going to, and Honey was talking to me and was like, "Are there any cons that we can get rid of, like not go to?" And I said, "Well, we're going to Emerald City, but that's my birthday, so no." I was like, "I want to go to WonderCon because I want to go to Disneyland with you again, so that one's also a no." And I really want to go to C2E2 because I've never been to that one, so that one's also a no. Also, I don't know if you guys know who some of my friends are, but if you like cat art in regards to cats as characters from pop culture, Jay Parks did some Star Trek ones, and that kind of skyrocketed into doing a bunch of other ones. They aren't doing any new ones as of now, and probably not at any time again, but they have a lot of really cool cat art pieces, so definitely go check them out. And then if you like sapphic gay art, I will be at Emerald City with Kelsey Jo Silva. I love their art. And then if you like gothic horror stuff, my good friend Dalen has a graphic novel coming out in April, if I'm not mistaken, called Whiff Wolf. That is a Civil War era graphic novel about a woman who gets into a relationship with a golden boy. He turns out to be abusive. She's literally thrown to the wolves, and she basically becomes like a wolf mother kind of thing. It's really, really cool. Yeah, Star Trek cats. Jay Parks Art. Jay Parks Art. Check him out. Really, really good art. I absolutely adore it. They also have like a bunch of Marvel characters. They have a bunch of they have a few Star Wars characters, like just a bunch of stuff. Yeah, they're awesome. I love the work that they do, and they're a really good friend, and they're really good at playing D&D, and they're really all of those people, by the way, are in my D&D game. Phenomenal role players, just absolutely bonkers good at the role-playing aspect of it, so I have to shout them out at least a little bit. Alright, I'm just gonna paint the outskirts of this black, the base. I was gonna do green, but I think black is just a little bit better for a like not being too on the nose, and can be used. Also looks really sexy when it's on a table. Just having like a black outer ring of the base looks really, really cool. So that's what I'm doing next. And then I'm probably going to start work on the Leshy, because these guys are pretty much done. It's really just about getting the basing materials on there. So yeah, I've started to realize that, like, as I've been going to cons over the past few years with them, like, I've started to realize that Artist Alley is the place to be, because it's just, like, don't get me wrong, I know that people have to make money, and I know that the booths are, like, there for that reason, but I just love meeting new artists. Like, I've had the opportunity to meet some really, really cool people, through the cons that I've gone to, and it's always the artists and like the writers and stuff like that that are the like just nicest people to chill with. But yeah, Yeah, that's ironically that's actually not how we met. Our friends, we met because I saw them at a reptile shop, and I literally looked at Honey and I was like, we need to be their friends. And then we became their friends, and now we're all in a little gay polycule together. So, not seriously, but also not jokingly. Like, we take care of each other, and we play D&D together, and we're gay with each other. So, you know. Yeah, it was serendipitous and perfect, and now we're all basically a family, and it's really awesome. It's been really nice to have them in their lives. They've made it so that we haven't been cooped up in our house for the entirety of this ongoing pandemic, and have made it so that we can tell really fun stories together and have experiences together, and it's just been a really, really cool, fun time. Yeah, like as I'm starting to be in my later 20s, I'm starting to realize that community is like extremely important. Not that I didn't realize it before. I just think that I had an easier time accessing community because of like being in college and being in marching band and things like that. So, being able to like make that community and have that community is so important. Um, and you know, being able to meet people at what Honey and I have been talking about a lot recently is like third places, places where you can go that isn't work or home, has been super, super important to us. Yeah, the pandemic really screwed everything up, but no worries. Enjoy whatever it is that you're going to do. I appreciate you stopping by and hanging out for a little bit. Like I said, this is going to be a more consistent thing. Um, I need to get back into painting more to justify all the money that I spend on painting. Um, but thank you for hanging out. I do appreciate it, and I hope that you have a wonderful night. Yeah, moving away is a really big one. That's why when we found the people that we did after having moved from Florida, like we were ecstatic because you don't realize exactly what those people mean to you until they're not in your life or until you don't have that kind of support system around you. And then you finally do, and you're like, shit, I this is actually really fucking important. These people were very important to a big part of my life that I did not realize was as big as it was. So, all right, I need to go fill up this water cup. I will be right back and fill up my water so I can have something to drink. Yeah, it's really weird to think about, like, just how important meeting people and having friends in community spaces is like, you just don't think about it, and then when it finally comes up, you're just like, oh, this is actually extremely important. um, and I never really took the time to realize how important the people that I had were. um, Especially now, like, having all my friends in a specific area, of like, every once in a while when they call me, I'm just like, oh yeah, this is actually very important. Like, this is no joke, this is like a super important thing. um and having friends in places that maybe you don't live in is also, you know, fun too. We were talking about this today, like, I want to stay out here, and Honey is lovingly agreed to do that with me. But like, I thought about it, I was like, all of our friends are either moving or going places, but like, that means that those are places now that we can go and explore and like culture ourselves and learn about different spaces and like be in that place with them. So it's super important, I think, to have that found family everywhere you go, because then you extend the amount and of people that you have in places, should you ever move away, to stay with, or find a reason to visit when you are um, traveling or things like that. So I should be making my way at some point out towards the Connecticut, Massachusetts area, because all of my friends, my close friends, in fact, 3/4 of my groomsmen party live in Connecticut. So I'll definitely be heading out there at some point this year. I don't know when, because we have so many cons we're going to, but I should be out there at some point. Yeah, it's funny. I actually, there was I got a survey today from our local museum, and I don't usually do them, but museums are really important to me, especially as someone who studied anthropology. Of like, not only is that where most anthropologists end up working, um, but it was just a really cool survey about like how important a museum is to you and what you'd like to see, and like being able to give my community feedback on it. Like, I could spend, if you put me in a zoo or a museum, I could spend hours there. It doesn't matter which one it is. I love animals. I love nature. I love learning. I love history. I think it's important that we understand history so that we don't repeat it. At least the parts that aren't good, which is kind of what we're seeing in today's society right now, of literally people denying certain things happened in our past and they're just happening again, you know? But yeah, Boston is around the area that I'm thinking about going, because it's not too long of a drive to get to Groton or Hartford from there. That's actually, last time I visited Connecticut, that's where I flew into. I have the money now that I don't have to do what I did prior, which was rent a car and drive at 2 o'clock in the morning to get to Boston, to then fly to Florida, to then get back in my car and drive 4 hours back home. Don't like that stuff. Don't get me wrong. I'm driving 3 15+ hour drive. Well, I'm driving 6, because back to and fro. I'm driving 6 15+ hour drives this year at least. So I don't mind driving. It's just the driving after little sleep that's the issue.
Carl, can you read that?
Yeah.
You want me to make it bigger?
No, that's fine. Yeah, lithics are fucking cool. When I did my trip to Greece, I was on an archaeological survey, and part of our job there was to categorize lithics, and I literally got to hold a amphora handle that had the thumbprint of the person who made it in it still, and it was like at least 800 years old. Like, that shit's fucking insane. I love lithics, pottery pieces, anything like that. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was expensive as shit. I had to do a GoFundMe for it, but I also learned so much stuff that I'm just like, why isn't the US doing this? And then I remembered the US doesn't give a shit about students. They're just like, give us your money. We don't care about your higher learning. We just want your money. Because fucking European countries, if you're a student within the EU, you get into every national park in any EU country and any museum in any EU country for free. Fucking for free. I was going through fucking when we were in Athens, like every 6 steps there was like a new national monument or something, because it's fucking Athens. And like it was expensive. It's like €8 per thing, and the bigger ones are more expensive. Like to get into the Acropolis and like on like around the Parthenon, like is like €20 just to get in. It's crazy. The EU is crazy. They also offer discounts for students on airfare and like travel expenses. I was sitting here like, bro, the US could do this so easily. Just tell the university heads they get a tax write-off, and they have to give it a certain amount of money based on the population of their thing. And then it's like, you don't have to do national parks. You could just be like, yeah, any state or local park within the area of your university, students get into for free. I don't know if there's a program like that already. It wouldn't surprise me if there was, but it also wouldn't surprise me if there wasn't. I was like, we can figure this shit out. We can solve all of our problems and just let students like actually study things. I just don't understand it. When I went to Greece also, it's something they don't tell you, which is crazy, is that there are certain universities that don't have a lot. Yeah. But there are certain universities that don't have a lot of people in a specific major for like a graduate's degree, like getting your master's, that will literally fucking pay you to get your master's. Like, you don't owe them anything. They're just like, please come here and learn. They will pay for it, or at least have a grant or something of that sort. Like, it's fucking crazy, man. We didn't get jack shit with our student ID. But it was Florida, so why would I expect the government to do anything the right way in Florida? I can say that shit now because I don't live there anymore. You'll graduate. I believe in you. So I'm not painting, I'm eating right now because this is in the middle of my thing. Yeah. Come to Florida to do this con that's definitely fun, but you also could get, like, arrested and probably, like, fucking killed. No. That's, like... Goodness. That's one of the biggest reasons why we, like, hesitate to go back to Florida to visit people. Because we're just, like... If it gets too bad there, like, things are gonna get really fucked. I don't know. As if they aren't already, but... I honestly wouldn't be surprised if at some point MegaCon leaves Orlando. It's so funny that you mentioned that. We did the exact same cost analysis. We're like, yeah, we're going to go to Disney World for like 3 days. Honey was like, I would much rather spend $2,500 on going to like a different country than going to fucking Disney World, a place that we've been to many times because we grew up in Florida and it's cheap as shit to go there when you live in Florida. Like, Disney, you're already a multi-billion-dollar company. Why the fuck do you need to charge so much? If you want to limit how many people can go in your park, which you did for fucking 2 years during COVID, just have a cap on your capacity. And charge less. You'll get more people wanting to come. I swear, these people who are like, I'm a really smart businessman, I run Disney. I was thinking about it too. Same ordeal. I was like, yeah, I think I'd rather not. I think I'd rather go to a museum. Fuck it. Let's go to London. Let's steal all of the lithics that were stolen from their cultures from the British Museum and give them back. I mean, come on. What's more romantic than a planned heist with your partner that also gives people back what is rightfully theirs? You tell me, because that sounds like a pretty hot date to me. Oh, food's so good, even if it is frozen. That's what I'm saying. Do you know how fucking disheartening it was to be in Greece, to go to the Parthenon Museum, and not have any of the fucking Parthenon there? Like, I just traveled across the entire world to come see this shit, and you're telling me that it's not here? It's in goddamn London? You're also telling me that we can't go inside the fucking actual Parthenon anymore because during World War II, some fuckhead decided to put munitions in there and someone shot the munitions and blew that shit up? Insane. Absolutely bazonkers. All right, Mr. Lesh, what are we going to do with you? We're going to actually this shit. Yeah, like, every time we'd learn something and people would be like, oh my god, Thomas Jefferson. I'm just like, Thomas Jefferson, the literal father of American archaeology. Sure, great, fine, awesome. Also, literally just cut into fucking mounds that didn't, like, regard any of the fucking archaeological shit. Does anyone want to talk about the fact that British colonizers and people who came into Africa literally specifically and, like premeditatedly would go to any African, specifically Egyptian art, and vandalize it to get rid of the noses so people didn't know that they were of African American descent. We're not going to talk about that. Because a reminder, what is regarded as the most well-defined dynasty of a civilization in history is Egyptian, and those people were African. And most likely would look like what normal African and African Americans look like today. Mind you, they also did slavery, so like that's a whole fucking thing. But like, are we just not going to talk about that? These are the things that like, this is why for a long time being a professor was on my list of like a high list of things that I wanted to do. Because I was like, God, I want to teach people. But I want to teach people in a way that's like, you know? Anyway. You motherfucker. What are we doing with you? We're going to take some gras and some hua. Some gras and some hua. And start to paw your hua. See, he's a leshy though. I don't know if I should do fucking... He's got green undertones, so I guess that'll be okay. But like, we'll see what it looks like. If I don't like it, then I will change it. Because that's something I can do. No such things as mistakes, just happy little accidents. In painting, there are things as mistakes in life. Do not take that out of context. And don't go telling people when you make mistakes, oh, this guy on Twitch told me that I can't make mistakes, just happy little accidents, so don't punish me. Officer, I didn't mean to steal. But also fuck cops, you know? Man, I'm feeling really fired up right now. Yeah, dude, I can't fucking imagine being a teacher in today's day and age. Like, the limitations that are being put on teachers is fucking nuts. Especially the fact that they're being limited in what they can do and they're still not getting paid enough. Wild. Absolutely fucking wild. Like, I could understand being a little bit more manageable if you were actually paying me a fucking decent wage for doing something that is super important to culture and making sure that it survives. But you're not even fucking doing that, so why the fuck would I give a shit what you think about what I can do in the classroom? You know? Yeah, I think that's something that I've started to realize too, is there's a lot of accessibility claims that just aren't actually up to the standard of what they need to be. Which sucks, because everything should be accessible. Fucking, Honey and I were watching the fucking Grounded Part 2 making of Last of Us Part 2 the other day. They literally made the game so that someone who was blind could play it. You're telling me you can't put fucking like an escalator or a ramp in a building, but you can make a visual game for someone who's blind? Fucking come on, be better. That's what I'm saying. I mean, come on. What, they think you're no. It's not a fucking ramp. That is a sorry excuse for what you think a ramp is. I am gonna make his eyes like a deep green, or like a bright green. Yeah, that's true. Imagine what the world would be if like people just did things because they were good things to do instead of trying to get patted on the back for everything. What a utopian society that would be. The biggest thing that I tell people is if you want to be kind, it's not free. And you have to learn to accept that sometimes you're not going to get anything in return for it. And that's okay. You know what you should be excited about getting in return for it? Someone else's fucking just appreciation that you made something specifically for them so that they were able to do the same things that you're able to do on a consistent basis. It is disheartening to see how many people are just doing shit because they think it gets them points. Literally, just be a good person. It takes a lot of effort. It is not free. But it sure as hell is better than the alternative. Oh. Goodness gracious. I love this. I haven't been this meticulous on a mini in a while. I think the last one I was this meticulous on was when I was painting that busty lewd Karlach mini at the 18 plus con that I was at. Oh, thanks for reminding me. I'm going to the gym after this, but I've been really focusing on going to the chiropractor more recently to make sure that I've got good shit, good motion. I'm trying to keep my posture good. I got Honey and I dance lessons for Valentine's Day, so she was like, your posture's alright. It could definitely be better. I was just like, alright, look. Alright. I'm at a fucking computer all day long. I know that my posture could be better. That's what I should change the name of that to. Not stretch, but unshrimp. This is also one of those models that, like, I want to be detailed on, but honestly, just getting, like, having that base color down, that's a different color. Having that base color down of green is helping accentuate the brown really nicely. So I don't really need to do too much detail. It's going to have kind of like that almost comic book look to it where it's stylized. But I still want to make sure that it has this brown everywhere that it needs to be, so that way, because this is also a model I will sell, but that way when it's being sold, you don't feel like I skimped out on the painting. might do is make the vines a different color on his body. That way they are accentuated in a different way. Because I want to make sure that you can delineate between the branches he has on him and the... Again, this is one of my favorite parts about painting like trees and things like that, is you can be a little messy because the messiness kind of adds to the aesthetic of it. But yeah, I might change the color up of the vines just to give that kind of delineation between what's his body and what's the bindings of his body. And this is just that walnut that I was using earlier. I'll probably make his staff the same color too, but... Yeah, trees are some of my favorite things to paint. I love trees in general, but they're fun to paint because they have just such beautiful character to them. Dark woods are my favorite. If you watch the video that I put up on the accessories, the Frontier Wargaming paint station I got is like a stained plywood. Like, it doesn't have to be nice wood. It just has to... I like dark wood. That's some of my favorite. But like my table, the table that I have is maple, but stained. I'm really a big fan of like walnut woods. I think they have such a nice texture and grain to them. That's just me. Also not a woodworker, so. But my buddy is. Thank God I'm starting to work on these things, because, geez, I need to get my unpainted stuff worked on. Look, as soon as I became an adult and realized that, oh, I have a say over what I do. I was like, oh. Actually make this space look good. Yeah, Honey suggested I have like a black screen so you guys don't see all the shit behind me, because it is a bit of a mess. The entire office is a bit of a mess right now, to be honest with you. But all right, I'm liking this so far. He's looking pretty good. I sometimes forget that it's not uber difficult to like paint. And then I get back into painting. I'm like, oh wait, this is actually not only fun, but I'm halfway decent at this. It's fucking crazy. You think after years of doing it, I'd have at least some semblance of ability. I don't want sick green. I'd like bed grease. Yeah. Like when I started to video edit again, I was just like, And then I started doing it. I was like, wait, I'm not half bad at this. What's it of? Because the only big minis that I have of that are 18 plus stuff. I subscribed on Patreon to a company that does pinup models of like well-known pop culture characters, and most of them are very lewd. I sell those at 18 plus cons because there's no one who will spend money like a very extremely nerdy, kind of slightly creepy person. Girl, come on. Oh, that's what I wanted to not happen. Probably looked really cool on the camera, but add some black into that. Yeah, that just squirted everywhere, unfortunately. Let me see if I can clean that up a little bit. Oh, it's okay. I luckily have found... Oh, Jesus. This is also coming apart. That's not good. I'll have to glue that back together. It's probably because I have so many fucking paints. Yeah, luckily I found a local game store that carries this specific brand. So I'm at least good if something serious happens like that. But I was trying not to do that. And sometimes I forget that I'm a relatively strong person, which means that sometimes when I squeeze things, I'm just like, I'm not squeezing it that hard. It's actually squeezing it pretty fucking hard. Let's just be real. Okay, what are we doing? Let me do a little bit of that. And black, this is very liquidy, which means it did not mix at all. It's like glaze consistency, and that's not what I want. Yeah. Which is good, because I want to get my grip strength up, because I want to start learning how to blacksmith. Alright, bench. You better be better. You are still fairly liquidy. What am I doing wrong? Yeah, that's a glaze. What the fuck? Alright, hold on. Let's see if I can get this fixed. Yeah, it's been on my list since I was like in high school of things that I've wanted to kind of like get good at, or at least have some training in. I'm a really big proponent of learning things that have been lost to time, of people not really understanding how to do them anymore. And luckily I'm surrounded by friends who also feel that way about things, so it makes my life a lot easier. Alright, mix up, please. Please mix up. How about you? That still looks very liquidy. Okay, well the pigment's at least a little bit more intense than that. That's not the worst. Yeah, a friend of mine, one of my friends is really into the. I don't remember the name of it because I'm not very uh, savvy when it comes to remembering the names of things. But it's like, oh well, I guess it's just called hand lacing. Was really into that. We went to a local tartan day, um, not too long ago, and there was someone who was hand lacing there, and God, the person who I'm talking about was literally at that table for like fucking almost an hour, just talking to the person who was doing it. It was really funny that you mentioned Paint for the Paint Gods because I was literally earlier like, I am not moving forward. No more mini paint and chill, accidental spray paints everywhere. That's not happening anymore. I'm going to do better. I lied. Or rather, I didn't manifest that into truth, I think is the better way to put it. Yeah, for this guy, I really wanted to get that kind of like. I like the idea of like deeper greens. The green that I was trying to mix up was called verdigris, which tends to be like more of a swampy green. But when I think about leshies, that's kind of what I think of. I think about like swamp people, creature from the Black Lagoon, like that kind of idea. So I really wanted to have that kind of color at least somewhere on him, and he's got this little skirt piece, and I wanted that to be like a darker green, so it just ended up working out. Now, if the paints would work properly, although that is probably also my fault because I haven't touched some of these paints in quite some time, so they've probably settled and I need to paint more. I should have done that, but I was too busy getting this set up to make sure that it would actually work, because I have a different space than I did before because I have more paints, and by proxy of more paints I have more organizational things that needed more space, so I had to move everything around. That's why my computer is way over there, but I'm over here at a separate desk that is specifically just for painting. Actually kind of works. Like the dark green undertone that I have from his original color that I put on makes it look like burlap, which is really cool, which I do not mind. I think that fits kind of the vibe of what I'm going for, so yeah, I when I started seeing it, I was just like, oh, this actually looks pretty cool. So I'm trying to make sure I don't do too much paint on it because I want to keep that texture. Oh, it might also help that the Mini actually has that texture on it. That's probably why it looks like that too. Whew. Definitely isn't just me, as much as I'd like to take credit for that, but that's what happens when you have a really fucking good printer. You can print out those tiny details like that. And goddamn, it better if I had to spend as much as I did on it. Now I'm painting the underside of this the same color as well, but I'll probably go back over this with the same color but a little bit darker. I just want to have just a base of it down so that way I know that it's been painted. Again, something that like this mini's gonna be sold probably, but like, and no one's gonna take it off its base to look at those things. But it's one of those things where like I like making sure that it's painted that way. So. Oh. Yeah, I keep buying them because I'm just like, ooh, this one's new and shiny. I don't need any more. Which is not true technically because there's one more that I want, but I'm saving up for it instead of just spending the money on it like I have in the past. Because I am financially responsible. Yeah, he's already got a pretty sick vibe going right now. I like the way he looks. What time is it? 6:30. Damn, time is flying. Yep. That's the beauty of fucking 3D printers is they're used for anything. I'm literally printing out little fucking awards for a friend who's gonna be giving them out on my FDM printer. So like, they are extremely useful, and that's why when I tell people, I'm just like, you don't understand how much you're missing until like you have one and you're able to use it consistently, because there's just so much you can do with them. And he's got these strips back here, but I don't think I want to do these in the same color. I think I want to do these in a darker tone. Or rather, I should say a more vibrant green. Less of a blue undertoned green and more of like a yellow undertoned green. But I still need it to match. Yeah, that shit's fucking insane. Like, the amount of stuff that's able to be printed, like, I have a really big FDM printer now. Like, I spent some money on it because I wanted to have a bigger FDM printer, plus the other one I was using was just garbage. And the amount of things that I can print is insane. I'll have to take some pictures and post them in the Discord. I'm literally printing out a fucking, like, 6-story tavern that I don't know if I'll ever finish, but so this is sick green. I don't know if this is what I want though. Yeah, the company I was talking about earlier, Loot Studios, they released like a little like tap room that's a 1-story that I've fully printed out that I have to finish painting, that I've already started painting. And then there is a 6-story tavern and inn that I've only gotten the basement printed out of, and that took me like a week to print. This one is still a bit of a blue undertone, but it looks like it's got more of yellow in general. I think this is what I want. It's a little too vibrant. So honestly, what I'm going to do is mull it down with the other green I was using. And a little bit of black.
What I'll probably do too, just to make sure that I keep some of that like really nice tonality to it, is just go back over it with the base that I used, which was Camo Cloak for this guy, which is kind of like a greenish brown, and that way I can get some of that depth of color back, and then just come back over it with like a dry brush or something, just to really get that nice, pretty green that I want.
Oh yeah. No, it's so the inn is not modular. It's just, it is what it is. But like you can basically take floors off of it as you, like, as people go up it or down it. A modular one would be really cool. But yeah, it's just a really cool model. Like I said, I haven't finished printing it yet because God, it's so large, but hydrate or dihydrate indeed. I haven't heard that since fucking marching band. Actually helping. Hopefully, if we have the hopefully if we have the time this year, I'm going to be helping one of my buddies who's a band director in Colorado Springs out with his band camp. I told him we came and helped out for a game recently, and I was just like, I'm going to get these kids in shape. And he was like, good luck. And I went, oh God. Yep. And it's high school, so you know it's even worse. We literally went to hang out, and all of the kids were obsessed with my wife. There were so many of them. There was one of them who came up and was just like, man, my sister's really sad. And Honey was like, why? And they're like, oh, because you're dating a man. They were probably convinced that we're a lot younger than we actually are. Because she was like, I'm actually married and in my 20s. And they were like, oh, I thought you were like 17. Which, brownie points to you, kid. But look, it doesn't matter if... When I was in college, my brothers were in high school. They still scared the shit out of me. High schoolers nowadays, too, insane.
Could you imagine the power we would have had if we had the internet at our fingertips like they do when we were like fucking in high school? The world would have imploded. Yeah, see, this is actually another one of my buddies. He's studying conducting. He's getting his master's in conducting, and he taught middle school. And he said that's as old as I can take them. Anything older, I would literally die. He's looking good so far. I'm digging the beard. I like the coloring that I've got on him so far. It'd be as good as time as any to bring out my yeah, kids are great, man. I do pretty well with high school students, but that's because I think I was a depressed high schooler who didn't know what I wanted to do in my life. Probably shouldn't be doing this on the rather expensive sable brush that my friend got me for Christmas, but all right. So this is where I need to get really intricate. Goddamn, Dalen, I love you so much. Thank you for getting me this fucking brush. It's great. Tiny ass brushes. So I'm saying, you just gotta connect to the kids. You like the things that they do. They're like, you're cool. I like you. And you're just like, oh my god, thank you so much. Tiny human. Infinitesimally small. And gorgeous. Yeah, I'll probably hit this up with Camo Cloak. Probably not today, but I'll probably hit that up with Camo Cloak. I'll probably do some work just like in here, getting kind of the wooden pieces together. Probably work on this on Tuesday. I got to get some stuff painted before Emerald City because I am lucky enough to be able to do some stuff there or sell there. So. Alright, let's look at the base real quick. I think I'm going to do the same thing that I did for the other base, in which case I'm going to do black. I think I'm out of the black, though. Out of the black and into the red. Am I right, friends? Haha. It's the opposite of what you want. soaking up the pigment anyway. So this is working quite well. Dude, when we were young, it was fucking gel pens. If you had gel pens, you were that kid. Oh. Yeah, dude. I had gel pens, and my parents got it for me, or my grandmother got it for me, or something. Did like a big Costco thing, or I don't know. And I sold them. I got in trouble for selling them. I was like, "You want me to be an entrepreneur, don't you?" I'm doing that. I'm entrepreneuring. That's what I'm doing right now. So for vines, what I like to do is just get a little bit of green in my brown. Because vines tend to be, at least if they're not old and dying, they tend to be just a little bit greener. And I find that's what works best for me. Now, obviously, if you have a specific look for your vines, like if they're dried out grapevines, obviously they have more of like a tannish look to them, but I'm getting paint all over that part that I just painted. What's new? For something as subtle as this, keeping that kind of brown undertone isn't that bad. So like, if you probably can't see it because my head's covering it, but I'm just painting a little over the top, but leaving like the parts closer to the rock where it's brown, just darker brown, because that's where the natural shadows are gonna lie. So. Paint on this. Trying to do better at making sure that I don't just, you know, I'm not trying to do one thing in particular. I'm just painting, because it's not very chill to be like, I have to get this done. Please, sir. I must succeed. More chill to just paint and enjoy, and that's something that I've been trying to get back into, of enjoying the art that I make. Yeah, I'll probably go back over this with more of the dark wood now that I have a little bit more color on it, to really they really are. I hate deadlines. But yeah, just to really like pull out the woody texture of the vine, and then because I've got color on it, it'll have a nice already highlight contrast to it. Sometimes that's what I gotta remember too. It's not always gonna look exactly how I want right away, but once I get some specific stuff on it, like contrast or thing like that, it'll look a hell of a lot better. Like this stone. The stone is very bland right now, but as soon as I put some wash on it, it'll liven up. Specifically, I'm thinking about a brown wash for that, but probably do that now.
This will just take a little bit longer to. Alright, so we've got. Nope. Nope. This is the one that I screwed up. There. This is the one that I screwed up. Oh, so comfy. Boy, yeah. So I won't use this. I want a bit of a thicker brush. Fuck it, I'll use one of these sable brushes, why not? So these are contrast paints. They're gonna be more, they're gonna be less viscous and more liquid. And what they're gonna do is just basically add a tint and kind of pick up shadows on things. So for this, I'm just doing it over for now, I'm just doing it over the stone, because that's the part that I'm focused on right now. But I'll probably use the same one for the vines when I go back over. But it's basically just going to pick up the, like if you accidentally put too much paint on the model, but there's still some like divots and things in it, it's going to really pull into those. And help kind of draw the natural shadows out. So what I'm going to do, probably when I come back to this on Tuesday, is go back over this with a dry brush of gray again to just bring the stone color back out. But I'm going to be light with it. Not going to be super heavy on it. 6:55 already. Golly. Damn, time flies. Alright. Ironically, I don't think there's anything else I need to do right now. I'm probably going to, like I said, pick this up on Tuesday. And this gives me a chance to kind of go over things again. So thank you guys for joining. I appreciate it. Like I said earlier, we're going to start doing these on a bi-weekly basis. Same days, different times. So Tuesdays we're going to do 5 Eastern to 7-ish. I might go under or over depending. Thursdays today we're going to do same time that they were before. Actually, I think it's 30 minutes earlier, but we're going to do 7 Eastern to 9. And then, yeah, I'll just be making more videos and stuff like that. If there's anything you want to see painted, you can go to the Discord channel and let me know. If you ever need any commissions done, obviously you can go to my website, which is just Wheelers Minis. That's the name of the channel now. Yeah. Other than that, I think that's it. I don't think I have too much else to say. Yeah, welcome back. Thanks for asking me to do this again and getting me off my ass and doing art, because that's super important. But yeah, I think that's it. I don't think I have anything else I need to say. VOD for this will be up as soon as I give myself time to do it, so I'll probably have it up by Saturday or something like that. I'm going to try to stick to a schedule of keeping it pretty consistently going. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. Jeez Louise, it feels good to be back and painting and doing stuff. So thank you guys so much for supporting me. Tell your friends. And like I said, if you need anything painted, I've got commission slots open on my website. I've also got stuff for sale there. And yeah, that's it. So hope you guys have a great night with whatever you're doing, and I'll see you guys on Tuesday, and then I'll update the schedule ASAP, because like I said, things are a little wonky at the end of this month because of my birthday and things, but yeah. All right, have a good night, everyone. Goodbye.